I never learned how to read.
Would you kindly?
My girlfriend's dad owns the restaurant, so there are so many times where he has been like, we've talked a lot about food, and both he and I are very big fans of hot sauce.
Oh, nice.
And he's like, yeah, you can't get this like specific way we make it at other restaurants because they don't try it and they haven't like tried this hot sauce miss. But Parker, you gotta try this. I'm like, sir, this tastes good.
The way to my heart is through destroying my stomach.
I very much enjoy. I can talk about it on the podcast, but I've done the hot ones challenge before.
Oh, nice.
No, hold on.
It was an experience.
If you're putting hot stuff on like all your food, it's not what the easiest way to my heart is through my stomach. It's blowing up my asshole.
The degree of pain I feel in the toilet after is directly inversely correlated to how much I enjoy you as a person.
Fuck you too, Parker. I saw the laugh of the shoulder hunch over when he's trying to laugh with the mouthful of food.
You clod.
Listen, you walked yourself into that one, just like I walked myself into that one.
Yeah. So guys, scheduling conflicts potentially. So next Saturday, I would be able to. However, I wouldn't be able to till like 8:30 at the absolute earliest. I don't know how late y'all are willing to do something like this because I can't Sunday.
So,
you know,
I have bad news then.
Okay.
So you're not gonna be able to do it next Saturday.
It's my niece's birthday party.
Oh,
well, yeah, go hang out with your niece then.
Yeah.
Which funny enough, I found out recently that my niece, Mark's and I's mutual friend Ryan, and my girlfriend all share a birthday.
Oh, Jesus.
Which is just really funny to me.
Out of all the people to share a birthday,
I have to remember one day, in the same vein, my roommate Cody and my brother-in-law are on the same day, and then the day before or the day after is two people I went to school with and my cousin.
Nice.
Another cousin. Like,
that's like my cousin's birthday is the same day my wife and I started dating.
That's so convenient.
Well, and the thing is, like, I'm shit with dates. Like, because my wife's birthday and our wedding anniversary are 4 days apart, I get the two flip-flopped a lot. So, like, I'm so bad with it. Last year, somebody was like, what are you doing for your birthday? I'm like, oh, that's right, that's coming up in tomorrow.
X amount of days, yeah. It's coming up real fast now, isn't it?
The last 4 birthdays, I only remembered it was my birthday because Carm reminded me.
How do you forget your own birthday?
I just don't pay any attention to it, and then Carm would message me or like put something in a chat, and she's like, hey, it is Parker's birthday. I'm like, oh. No, it's not the way it actually is.
To be fair, the easiest way to I've always remembered my birthday is I'm 4 days before Hitler.
Oh, well, fun fact about that. My birthday is the same day that Hitler committed suicide.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
I don't know what my date I don't know what my date purports to in the Hitler timeline.
What's your birthday? I'm gonna find out.
The 8th of April.
All right, we finally have his birthday.
No, we
I mean, at this point, Carm will tell anybody if they ask.
Fair.
So, as much as I don't do anything for it, she will.
Apparently, there's a solar eclipse that's supposed to be happening on that day.
That's true.
Yeah, there's a solar eclipse happening on your birthday.
I share it with a terrible person who's a YouTube creator that recently got ousted for being a shithead.
Which one?
As do most YouTube creators.
Chugga Conroy.
Who?
Chugga Conroy. I know him because he did a lot of he does Let's Plays, and he's like a lot of Pokemon, Xenoblade.
Poketubers are the worst.
Mentioned. Well, and he was.
Are you talking about yourself there?
Yep.
Sure. So not all. But keep in mind, there's always an exception.
That's true. The dry bread's
Wait.
great.
the Roman Emperor Caracalla
Dude, you
was
got a lot of
assassinated?
bad shit happening on your birthday. My God.
There was an assassination on your birthday.
I mean,
Well, like 2019, 14 tons of black market pangolin scales from 36,000 animals were discovered in Singapore. 2019, 600 million birds die each year in the U.S. after striking tall buildings. This was just discovered then. Allison Mack pleads guilty to sex trafficking charges. My God, what is with this day?
like I told you, it's cursed.
Congratulations on your curse.
Jesus
It's-
Wait,
I mean,
Christ.
The only celebrity that I know, if you call him a celebrity, Chris Kyle, the guy, I think it was Bradley Cooper, played in American Sniper. Apparently was born that day.
Okay, I have one that's very good. So it's depending on region, and apparently in Japan, because you're a fucking weeb, so this just tracks. April 8th is Buddha's birthday.
How dare you! I am no such thing.
As I wear my
Shut the
Fallout,
fuck up! I see all the weeb
4
shit in the
perks.
background. I can't.
You see nothing.
Okay, I can't say much. You got weeb shit. I got horror shit in the background,
I've got hats.
and also this man. Which I'm
He's
gonna.
so cute.
They release a turnip guy robs a
boy.
bank with a little bag that you can remove,
That's amazing.
and also when I get it, he'll have butt cheeks.
I love it. Did you know they have a Turnip Boy computer tower now?
Yeah,
I
they're
want
doing
one.
that as a giveaway.
I know, I've been, like, for the first time ever, I've actually ended up following, retweeting, and entering these sweepstakes because I want one so badly.
There
I can't blame
was
you. It's such a good looking computer.
there were some, I think it was Xbox Ones, because Microsoft always does really good with like special consoles.
Mhm.
Like that's always something I've been very impressed with them. But they did for a Godzilla movie, I think it was Godzilla King of the Monsters. They had like
With Ryan.
for all the big monsters, they had like these disgusting abominations that had like full on scales and were like, because of this, we're like 3 times taller than a regular
I
Xbox
love
One.
it.
And I'm like, I would so take one. They're terrible. I want it.
It's kind of like Lilo and Stitch, the I love him!
I love it. I haven't watched that movie.
Oh,
forever.
I haven't
so
watched it in forever. No, all I'm thinking is just it's so fluffy, but it's a
different movie, but
Yeah,
welcome to
I mean-
Scheduling Conflicts, everybody. I am Bricker Boom.
I thought we started already.
We
No,
have to-
we did
No,
start.
we do pre-show chatter, then the intro, and then just post intro.
Yeah, I was gonna say it started the
Nonsense.
moment I wasn't in here.
Well, yeah, that's
Oh.
true.
Yeah, I was like I was. Oh fuck! Hi, I'm the Baby Rhino or Marcus, whatever you want to call me.
Oh yeah, I should introduce myself. I'm Pivok. I forgot. I do have a name.
So,
You have a name, yes.
peek behind the veil. It's been what, 2 weeks since we recorded? 3
It's
weeks?
been
Like
3
3.
weeks since you looked at me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's 3 weeks without it, and all of us had things come up.
Yeah, guess what? We all had scheduling conflicts, and next week there's gonna be more scheduling conflicts.
That's just what
But
happened.
because this takes up so much space on my computer, even without us having a backlog, your boy's gonna start scheduling them on YouTube just to get them off my computer.
No,
You need
absolutely.
another fucking.
I'm
hard drive,
aware,
my
dude. I just got a higher paying job and have had 1 paycheck. Give me a minute.
It's been more than a minute. Hold on a second.
There
No,
are,
I literally just got my first paycheck like 5-6 days ago.
How much space does this shit take?
probably a good chunk.
Each video that we do, and I've tried with both Streamlabs and OBS just to see if one is more condensed than the other, takes anywhere between 30 and 50 gigabytes.
Between 30 and 50 gigs. Okay.
Yeah, each
Let's
video.
see
So
here.
right now I have about 200 gigs of video on my computer right now.
You know
That's
what you
like-
could do?
That's like half of a Call of Duty game.
You know what you could do? You fucking. I hate the
That's
fact you're not
Baldur's
wrong.
Gate 3 right there.
At least Baldur's
can-
Gate isn't just horribly compressed bullshit. There's a reason it takes up so much space.
Yeah.
But no,
Well, okay, no. One thing you could do, if you really wanted to, it's like $50. You can get a 500 gigabyte thumb drive and use that.
I do have a thumb drive somewhere.
Oh, that
But
reminds me. So, my boss,
okay.
lovely man, like genuinely he is a very nice man. He works hard. He does his best. He's even trying to be more. He's trying to be more woke, even like very good guy. I really appreciate him. Like he genuinely has used that word and been proud when someone called him woke. It was adorable. But
oh my god.
When COVID hit, he had to work a lot more from home, and as we started to trickle back in and come in to work in the office, which was I joined the agency midway through COVID. And the way he was doing his work almost gave me a fucking aneurysm because we have an IT guy, and the fact that the IT guy allowed this to happen, I am stunned. My man, with all of the genuine sensitive information he has, his role is the phone development guy. He deals with Bunny. He kept everything on a single thumb drive. All of his work. I'm like,
actually,
like,
no.
You like.
And we have VPNs. 1, 2, 3, 4.
We have servers. We have VPNs. I'm like, I know it would have been a lot of pain to teach him, but like,
you know what might be the most secure thing? A thumb drive that you can easily get rid of where all your data's in.
Okay, so to some extent, you could make a case for a good one. My man had legitimately like went to Walmart and said, "Give me the first thumb drive available, good sir." Like, he had just a regular ass one. Like, if you had a good, like, a well-made one, sure, I can believe you. But, like, my man just went and picked up the first one. And the fact that we have IT people that allowed it to happen is terrifying.
That's a huge problem.
As far as I know, nothing bad came from it. But every time he would say, like, "Oh, they made him stop, thank God." Like, every time he would say, like, "Oh, if I lose this thumb drive, all my stuff is on it." And I'm like, oh god. I can see this like random people are being given the gift of prophecy. I'm so afraid.
That's frightening.
You know, it actually just reminds me though of the Pal World devs when they were making their game. I don't know if you guys heard. I know you guys probably did hear about this.
I've heard so many things about Pal World. It all runs together now.
So this one in particular was the fact that in order to back up everything they worked on constantly, they didn't have another computer or anything. They had a bucket load of thumb drives. That's where everything was saved into.
Horrible.
It worked. It somehow worked. And that's all I could think of now is with your one guy who's like, here's my information in a thumb drive.
That just...
if you can make it work.
That
yeah, if you can make
hurts.
It work. I know it does, but it's if you got no other choice. Hey, look at this. I have all my information in this bucket.
And you know what? If it works, you can't really...
I'm picturing them rolling up to an executive meeting to like pitch this game, and they're like, "All right, show us your idea." Drop this 5-pound bucket on the table.
Okay, so
here's where it begins. All right,
fair,
look for flash drive 001.
Yeah, okay, hold on. Gotta find one. Oh, no, 490, 340.
All right, actually, all of us
280. Oh, this is a good one. 280. This has got the good stuff on it. We got 190. 40. Here's one.
I haven't heard anything legitimately ever since Helldivers 2 came out, and actually, that's it. Pal World, at least on all of my feeds of any social media I follow, Pal World is gone.
No, it's not. It dropped a lot. It dropped a lot, but that's because that's standard fall off from a game.
True.
So it hasn't gone anywhere to the point where even the devs themselves. I have to find it, but I think
yeah, I know this quote.
It was a really great take.
See, the last I read about it, the dev was actually quite salty that so many people had.
No, there could be more than one.
Probably.
It could have been, but the main dev even himself said, "Hey, I understand. You guys are going to go off and play your own games. Go play other games. We get it. We understand." This is also, they even said, like, we'll make our updates. We'll get content updates out there when we can. Go play other games if you want to. We get it. This is also the same dev who gave his entire team a week off to go play Elden Ring.
Yeah. Yeah, it would have been a different dev then, because the other dev was just like, "This is the problem with gaming societies today, is the short attention span." I'm like, my guy.
No.
Okay. On that note, like, you want to talk like the problem with gaming. 2024 has 3 games that I'm like, I could scream about how excited I've been. They are all massive RPGs that I would be stunned if any of them I was able to finish in under 60 hours. All 3 of them released in 4 weeks of one another. Within 5 weeks span, they will all have been released because at the time of this, Persona 3 Reload and Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth are already out.
That's
and
right.
next week, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth comes out.
Except I don't have to worry about that one.
Those are all I want to play.
That's
And I haven't touched Infinite Wealth, and I see people talking about Infinite Wealth.
Hey.
It's chaos, and I want to play it.
Parker, I got my coworker who's been talking about Infinite Wealth constantly. He was saying, "Oh yeah, I beat the Pokemon bit. I've done the Animal Crossing bit. I've done this bit. I've done that bit." And I'm like, "My guy, are you gonna play the story?" And he's like, "No." Because it's side quest game.
Wait,
and I rarely do the side quests. I rarely do the side quests because the stories are also that good. Like the series is so weird because anybody who looks it up will either get one of 2 ridiculous impressions that like this is the most the most insanely serious, like realistic, gritty crime drama set in Japan about the Yakuza. The other people will be like, this is a game where you summon a fucking crayfish to pinch somebody as an attack.
Yes, the crayfish. It's
you sing karaoke and people are wearing the most 80s outfits of all time midway through the song. Both of these are very correct, and the series is incredible for it.
No, wait. So since because of the original Yakuza was like beat 'em up style game, they switched to an RPG style game. In order to get new classes, the main character, who legitimately has like mental instability, he has actual like mental health problems that he needs to take care of. Not going to take care of.
Sir, please go see a therapist.
He does, but he will like. I remember this one thing. It's like how he learned about the samurai class, if I remember correctly. He was on a bus, and they were in Hawaii, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And he just sees 2 kids, basically with like, I think it was just like cardboard tubes or something.
Yep.
Fighting each other on the bus, and he's just like, "Oh, that's a great idea." And then the samurai class becomes the thing.
Because the Ichi, who is also like, he's a man in his 40s. His whole premise of why there's even classes in this is not real. It is not what is happening. My man just believes and imagines that he is in a modern day version of fucking Dragon Quest. Yes, they literally call it by Dragon Quest. And when you go in the first game since Ichi took over, you'll go and meet somebody who teaches you about like jobs you can do. And he literally says, it's like getting new classes and jobs in a Dragon Quest game.
And then everybody looks at him like he's insane.
It's so dumb. And then you have him like pull out a barbed wire covered baseball bat as if he's Arthur pulling out the sword, pulling out Excalibur. It's so good.
Huh. I'll have to check that out.
There's also a billion games, so you're in for the long haul.
That's kind of the thing. I remember back in 2020, for example, there were so many amazing games being released. Like, I had to figure out which of the main ones I was going to buy. I eventually settled on Kingdom Hearts 3. Only mild regret because there were
I love Cage.
There were some problems that I had with Cage. One, the length of the cutscenes I felt was a bit much. I loved the hidden Mickey gimmick though. Like that made up for any shortcomings.
I'm never gonna say you're wrong. I'm never gonna say someone's wrong on that take, but it's the same thing that I was having when I went to college, and the most recent Pokemon games that I actually played were Sun and Moon. And a lot of people were complaining, and they were calling it cutscene the video game, and I'm going, it's a fucking RPG.
I'm gonna tell you a quick story about my kid being an absolute savage. This was during Halloween. This was like the apex of his "how much
like
age
Legends?
are you" thing. Almost, it was a legendary moment. We go up to this one woman's house, and he asks, "How much age are you?" And she looks at him, and she goes, "I'm 15." And he looks this old woman up and down real quick, and he goes, "No," and then just leaves.
The brutal honesty of kids.
I love
it.
Yeah,
didn't even wait for her to correct herself. He just said no and leaves.
It's like
respect.
Kids being brutally honest is like one of my favorite things. Like one time my youngest niece, the Chaos Gremlin, she made me put on like a unicorn headband. And then her mom's like, "Doesn't Uncle Parker look good?" She looks at me and goes, "No, he looks ugly." I'm like, wow,
no.
you bitch.
That brutal honesty. You can't even be mad. You're like,
she's too cute. She's too cute to be mad. And this is also a kid who has no fear.
And then you have the
that's
intrusive thoughts that say, I
podcast.
just want to pick you up and then put you down elsewhere.
Oh, well, I mean, there was even my nephew. I might have actually told you guys this story. I don't think I would have said it on the podcast though. Back right before Canadian Thanksgiving, I was hanging out with my sister and her husband, and my parents were there. I think my brother-in-law's mom was there, and I was sitting with my nephew in my lap, and he just turned 2, so he's getting to the point where like he's starting to communicate and he's like understanding stuff.
It's
So
a
I'm sitting
few
with him
words and a lot of screeching.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like he can genuinely communicate what he wants, even if he can't necessarily say the thing.
Yeah.
But I'm like, so Easton looks up at me. What sound does a sheep make? Bah. What sound does a cow make? Meh. I'm like, what sound does a lion make? And he tries to go, but he can't get the. So he kind of just goes, and breathes out aggressively. And then I'm like, all right, Easton, what sound does your mom make? Looks up at me. No. Like, you're lucky you're cute enough to get away with that.
Oh, that's
And also,
incredible.
yes, I grew up with her. She was my older sister. She was basically a babysitter to me. She said no to me a lot. Too.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
That's just how it goes.
That was
How
one
big?
benefit of growing up in the country. Like when my grandparents would be, because I grew up with my grandparents and lived with them, and my mom worked nights, or there were even some times that I did not live with her. When the grandparents were away, Bricker could go out and play. There was one time that they took the RV away for the weekend. Me and Ronifero, being the dumb teenagers that we were just hanging out, and then my car alarm goes off. And rather than thinking, oh my god, there's a break-in, we should probably call the cops, no, I had a lot of swords that I had collected. He grabbed the katana from Kill Bill. I grabbed this giant, just bastard sword that I had, and we go creeping out into the front yard to find a very confused and still somewhat woozy raccoon that had fallen from the willow tree onto the car and semi-knocked himself unconscious.
So easy target then.
Yeah, exactly.
All y'all motherfuckers in your anime shit. I have no stories like that, but goddamn, I would have done the same thing.
Speaking of
I mean-
anime, I composed another
You bitch.
quiz for you guys.
Oh yeah.
And this one is based around nothing but anime.
Fuck you.
He's gonna beat me. I'm sure of it.
No, it's fine. It's fine. I tried to make
I
it.
only beat
you
you on
know,
the video
as,
game
as
one because
fair
of
as
logic.
possible.
I only beat the video game one on logic of absurd logic.
We also have
Logic?
you and I, while we do have a lot of overlap, we also have vastly different things that, like, if you dip into one or two of those things, one of us is just no chance compared to the other.
Well,
Yeah,
good.
like Final Fantasy 14 Online, the critically acclaimed MMO, that bullshit. I don't know
Hey,
the rest of it.
Parker, could you tell us the rest of it?
No!
You want to? So let me ask you this question: have you heard about the critically acclaimed MMORPG with a free trial that goes up to level 70 and includes the award-winning expansion Stormblood with no restrictions on playtime? Final Fantasy 14. Download now from the Square Enix website. Please sponsor me, Square. He says, having not touched the game in like 2.5 months.
I'll
But
edit that
I mean, the
part out, it's
dev. I think the dev himself, the guy who made the game, is all about saying, "Yeah, buy it for the story, then stop playing. You're cool."
fine. Also,
And I mean,
my guy,
I played Yoshi P's other big Final Fantasy game and loved it. So
are
Yeah,
you feeling okay, Rhino?
yeah, I'm fine. Why?
I just happen to look over towards Spooky Sword. I just see this big ass bottle of NyQuil.
Oh, yeah.
I forgot about that. Yeah, back when I was not feeling super well, I got a whole bottle. They gave me a whole bottle of
Not a
NyQuil. I never
sponsor.
took any. I was fine.
Definitely
I
not
just
a
needed more
sponsor. All right.
Yeah, I mean, it's not even open. Like, see, you can still got the seal cap on it.
Yeah.
Never got open.
sponsor him and he may drink it on stream.
Chug the
Question
whole
number
bottle.
1. What?
halfway to
Oh,
just
yeah.
being
Yeah,
booze,
and this
so-
is all according to Google, so if anybody ends up fact checking this later, it's Google's
Oh,
fault.
I will.
But what is the first anime released in the US? A. Dragon Warrior. B. Dragon Ball Z. C. Dr. Slump. All created
say-
by Akira Toriyama.
I'm gonna say Dr. Slump.
Okay.
It can't be. Is it Dragon Ball?
Dragon Ball seems too obvious.
It
That
does.
seems like
it
too
seems
obvious.
Way too
And-
obvious.
And that had to have been in that I'm pretty sure the anime did not premiere until the late 80s or 90s.
That's
Which
also the thing. It's like, yeah.
I could see, and I'm pretty sure like Dragon Warrior had an anime thing right off the bat. I mean, I'm pretty sure the Fire Emblem anime predates Dragon Ball, the anime, at least in the West.
Fire Emblem had
By the way, yeah,
anime?
if you didn't know there was a Fire Emblem anime, it's terrible and everyone should watch it. It's so
I'm
bad.
gonna watch
I didn't
it
even know that was a thing. I'm gonna say
It's,
Dragon
it's
Ball.
so bad.
Okay. The answer
The game
is
wasn't-
A. Dragon Warrior.
Ah,
Yep, came out in the 1980s.
So did
Here's
Dragon
a
Ball,
lot of-
apparently.
the anime in the West, even? Wow.
Mhm.
Oh, I guess, yeah.
Yeah.
There was because even if I haven't watched the show, there was like a late 80s, I think it was
Wait.
a company called Harmony Gold did the original dub, I think. Or the
Hold on a
90s.
second.
Again, I've never
Because,
watched Dragon
the-
Ball, so I don't.
This is just
Was it-
from the research I've seen. A lot of people also argue that Astro Boy was the first one that came, but apparently
Yeah.
I feel
Dragon Ball was the first.
Astro Boy always felt so American.
I think it's just the one that people remember most, honestly.
And I think
Oh, you know
that
what?
might be why, because it's
Yeah.
it's the kind of thing that a lot of people didn't really know was.
Yeah, because especially like during that time, I feel. I mean, up until I feel within the past 20 years or so, I feel like anime hasn't been super popular, at least not here.
I feel like it was for the most part, like there was a stigma around it because it was
Yeah.
the sweaty guy in the basement that was the only one
Mhm.
to watch anime, and it was really like at least the stereotype when I was growing up in like especially in like the early 2000s, it was like you have watched everything of Naruto, you've watched all the Bleach, you watched One Piece, you've watched Dragon Ball, all this stuff, you watch Sailor Moon,
Okay.
you watch all this, or you watch none of it.
Yup.
It did, like, the stereotype at least was that you were all or nothing
Yep.
when it came to anime.
Also,
And
Nowadays,
I had
like,
to,
watch what you like.
I had to look it up real quick.
Yeah.
Dragon Ball technically did come out first, but that was first not in America.
Yeah,
In,
Yep.
in
that's why I
America,
did
it
in
came
the
out in
US.
19. In America, it came out in 1990, while Dragon
Yeah.
Warrior was 1989. I was born when that came
And
out.
what's kind of crazy about Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball Z came out in America way before Dragon Ball by like a good few
Mhm.
years. So like all these people, and like, granted, let's be honest here, Dragon Ball Z doesn't have the most complex storyline by any way, shape, or form. But all these characters and relationships, people are like, so why do we don't like Piccolo? Oh, because he killed Goku in the first episode. That must be why. All right. What is the highest grossing anime movie of all time? Dragon Ball
Interesting movie.
Super, Resurrection of F, One Piece, Red to Spirited Away, or Case Closed, Body Switcheroo?
Oh, that's really difficult because Case Closed has such a weird fan base. Like they're the type of fan base that
They
are
are
like
ride or
very
die.
aggressive.
Yes.
They are rabid for.
I'm,
It's
uh,
like
Closed.
Firefly fans.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
bet One Piece.
I wanna
Also,
bet One Piece
Firefly
as well.
Firefly is a very fine show. That's all it is.
It
Like, I
wasn't-
know
it-
it's kind
it's
of
so good.
to me, I think Firefly is kind of in the same vein, and I say this as a huge fan of the game, as Mother 3, where the meme of it is that like it got shit on, like it didn't get what it
Yeah.
deserved, and so many people like there are so many people clamoring for like Mother 3 to come to West. You're never gonna fucking play it.
No.
You're never gonna play it if it does.
You're
It's
gonna
also
look
just
at it and
never
go,
gonna
oh,
happen.
cool. All right.
Yeah.
Also, you know why? You know why? Firefly had the issue it did.
Fox
Yeah. Do you know what Fox did?
aired the episodes in
there-
different orders.
Yes.
All right.
So
Because-
that's the main reason why people got pissed about it. Like,
Yeah,
like Game
because
Pass.
funny story about it. A couple years ago, my mother was like my aunt kept saying like, I need gift ideas for you for Christmas, and wouldn't leave me alone. So I was like trying to think, and we had just started our friend group. A few of us, like Carm and a few of us, sat down to watch Firefly. So I was like, whatever. I kind of like collecting shows I like. So if you see like a Blu-ray of
Yeah.
Firefly, my aunt ordered it off Amazon, and they just sent, or my mom did. They sent her 2 copies. She paid for one. They just gave her a second copy.
Amazing.
I'm like, first off, I'm like, damn, too bad it didn't happen with like a TV or something. But so the joke was always that I have now 2 copies of the Blu-ray copies of all of Firefly, one for the Fox order and one for the correct order.
Ah! Oh, that's actually really good. And
Thanks
also,
to my-
goddamn, that's
Thanks to
sad.
my buddy Ori for the one who made that joke.
I love it.
Or he
So
did that.
good.
Well, that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Of course, it was Ori.
Also, you both are correct. The Case Closed thing, I just made up the title because I couldn't remember what the Case Closed movie was called.
That's fair, but
Yep.
it's also it's like if there was a Case Closed movie, the fans are rabid.
Yeah.
But
And
One Piece has a bigger fan base than pretty much anyone else.
One Piece, I feel like I can safely say One Piece probably is the most popular overall anime. Like Dragon Ball is always and Naruto have always felt kind of like streaky, where like there are points where it seems like everybody's talking about it and then it really dies off. I feel like there are consistently like tons of people always talking about One Piece. I've never watched any of them, so I can't speak on the quality, but if that many people like it, it's probably pretty damn good.
It's actually really fucking good. The only problem, obviously, is the pacing. That's it. That's the only problem with the show. Everything else,
I mean,
it's so fucking good.
I've never cared for pacing. I'll defend the Twilight Princess and Kingdom Hearts 2 opening. I don't care about slow pacing.
I mean, Twilight Princess is great.
So
I'm talking
with that,
specifically the openings.
it's funny
Okay,
you
well,
mentioned
it's still
most
fine.
popular
It
anime
is fine.
because question number 3, according to the website Twinfinite, what is the most popular anime of all time as of November 2023, as voted on by about 125,000 people? A. Dragon Ball Z. B. One Piece. C. Bleach.
Well, I feel like I legally
I
have
have
to.
to
I've
say
legally
One
locked
Piece.
into one answer of One Piece.
It has to be
So I'm
One
gonna have to
Piece.
go One Piece. Final answer. Watch it be Bleach.
One Piece is second. Dragon
It's
Ball
Dragon
Z
Ball
won
then.
by
Oh,
about
yeah.
7,000 votes.
Damn.
So
Yep.
I have to. The only reason I had to legally say One Piece as well because it's like I feel like it has to be the most popular because
Yeah.
of how long and it's such has
Mhm.
been going on. Dragon Ball makes only sense because
It's been
what
around
what
longer.
other series? Not even that. No, One Piece has been around. I think even longer, almost as long as Dragon Ball. But
Has it?
the thing is, it's been more consistent
Fair.
because Dragon Ball itself.
Takes multiple breaks.
Who here remembers Toonami?
Funny you mentioned that. The last question is actually involving Toonami. So
Oh
don't
my
look up
God,
anything
'cause-
about Toonami.
All right.
Well, no,
let's
I
hear it.
won't. But like, it's like, just think about it. You watched One Piece like during your morning cartoons and such, but then during the adult times, you had
I
the
never got
Toonami type
Toonami.
things. That's
Oh.
unfortunate.
We had a station called Teletoon, and it played most of that stuff. And you
Okay.
could, at least with what I had, like I could get access to. I don't know if they still if they called it Cartoon Network back then, but like I could watch
It
any
most
of
likely
those.
was.
Like, all of the like popular anime were more than available in Canada.
Right.
Like you could watch. I think it was Teletoon that had Pokemon. YTV had Yu-Gi-Oh. I think Teletoon
that's-
also had. I think Teletoon had like Bleach and all that because they had like a night lineup. They had like a Teletoon at night or
saying-
something. And I'm pretty sure it would go from like I think it went from like The Simpsons to Family Guy to Cowboy Bebop or something.
That sounds
Like,
like a nighttime
there's
run.
probably somebody my age who would just like hear this and be like, "You're a fucking idiot," and point out all why I'm wrong. I don't remember.
a lot of the.
It was
the
20
early
years
ones-
ago.
A lot of the only ones you mentioned were the early shows:
Mm.
Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, Digimon. Those were all the early shows. Then you got to the late
Man.
shows. That was Cowboy Bebop, Dragon Ball Z, Trigun,
Inuyasha,
Outlaw
Yu Yu
Star.
Hakusho.
Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yeah,
Hakusho.
fuck that
Oh.
show it's real good. I'm really liking it.
And then
Just starting the
that's
tournament arc.
Love it.
100% too. Those are probably the reason why those are way more popular because One Piece was also one of the early cartoons,
Yeah.
not the later ones, and it was constantly still being dubbed or not dubbed, dubbed over and such. While the
Yeah.
other ones
Fair enough.
ended up stopping.
The only thing that I have ever seen from One Piece is the like the 4Kids dub theme song. And like
Dreamin'.
I don't know
give it up,
I don't know if
dreamin'.
I don't know if the original is like a masterpiece or anything, but even if I don't watch the show, that's cheesy and fun as hell.
The original is actually really good.
I'm sure I know a lot of people hate it, so I'm sure the original is really good, but I'm like, I can't hear that and not chuckle.
His name's always just like a samurai. In what
It's
anime
obvious.
was the move Wind Scar used? A. Kill la Kill. B. Inuyasha. C. Full Metal Alchemist.
I know that one.
I have no idea. Full
need
Metal
you to-
Alchemist.
All right. Baby
Is that your
Rhino?
final answer?
I
It's
was thinking
Inuyasha.
I was
It
thinking
is
Inuyasha at
Inuyasha.
first, but
It's Inuyasha when he pulls out his sword, makes it gigantic. He basically does the anime thing of I slice down, here goes a beam.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's the
clip
rumor of
hazard.
it is it kills 100 demons with one swoop
Yep.
until it doesn't.
that's a very anime
Yeah.
thing to say.
Funny, if you want more anime, Inuyasha's weapon is actually made from, if I'm not mistaken, his dad's tooth.
Yes, both his and his brothers are both made with teeth and bones from his father, who is a giant wolf demon.
Yep. Inuyasha's actually pretty fucking cool.
Yeah.
I strongly recommend it.
It
if you
got
ever get a
shit on
chance.
because it had the unfortunate thing of being released at the same time that the internet realized what furries were. So everybody just kind of lumped them all in together.
Yeah, and
I
I've never
didn't-
understood why we
I-
hate them.
I didn't know that until like maybe a few years ago about furries and such. I just
And-
really liked Inuyasha.
Fair
And
enough.
honestly, the
You were spared.
I mean, I was a kid back in the day when I was like more into Pokemon. I thought Gardevoir was a really cool Pokemon.
Ooh,
I thought Vaporeon was a really cool
I don't
Pokemon.
want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about
Earlier,
it.
when I started to fall
I
out,
don't wanna talk about
Lopunny
it.
was announced, and I was like,
Nope.
that's actually kind of like I see the like I see where they're going for with that. Like I think that's a clever design. Yeah. and
Yeah,
the
you see,
internet.
Here's the
And
problem.
then the internet.
See, here's the problem though. All those are, they're okay, but nothing beats sexy Doug Trio.
Cody's playmat.
In what
He gets
anime
explained that.
are there creatures called hollows? A. Bleach. B. Trigun. C. Cowboy Bebop.
I like how you had to stop us. I know this one too.
What was the first thing you said?
Bleach.
Bleach. I'm gonna go with Bleach.
All right.
It's
baby, right
Bleach.
now. It is Bleach.
It's Bleach.
No, I knew it wasn't Bebop.
No, well,
And I
yeah.
was like, I was scanning. I was like, was there a random episode that had a hollow? It's literally my favorite anime. Oh my
No.
god, it's the one thing I should know.
All right.
No, and lucky you, it was not.
3 more.
Big smart today.
What is the energy used in Naruto? A. Chakra. B. Ki. C. Spirit energy.
Pretty sure it wouldn't be spirit energy because spirit gun, spirit sword. That's Yu Yu Hakusho.
It's Yu
My
Yu
name's
Hakusho, you're
Kuwabara,
right.
and I have a sword.
Spirit sword, and then it's just the fucking Star Wars lightsaber effects, and it's so good. It's so good.
We stand for Kuwabara.
Anyways, I gotta make sure to curse Bricker with this as well.
Oh my god. The I will go with
Oh, yeah, I've seen that.
I'll go
Okay,
with
good.
chakra.
Okay.
It was a key chakra. It's chakra.
Yep.
Yeah.
All
Alright.
right.
I'm
to
pretty sure
remember-
I've heard people say chakra in context of Naruto, so
And
Yeah.
this is just going to be whoever answers first because I know you both are going to know the answer.
I'm not going to know it now. I'm going to blank. I know. I'm scared.
What
It's
is
like taking a
Yusuke
test.
Urameshi's main attack?
Spirit gun.
There you go.
That's Yu Yu Hakusho. God damn it! I was like, wait, I know that name. Spirit Gun.
Spirit-
Fuck you.
Spirit gun. Apparently, I haven't watched because I'd rather finish the anime first, but I saw some clips of the live action thing, and I don't know like the quality of the show, but in terms of action, like
It
fight
looks so
scenes,
good.
it is phenomenally choreographed, and like the cinematography of it is
It's very like Jackie Chan style.
Yeah.
Like
What?
Jackie Chan
It's- and
Jet Li
it's-
levels of like
it's the
choreography.
perfect level of like over the top nonsense
Mhm.
without doing like the like like I watched recently with friends a movie that everybody has said like is one of the greatest things ever in John Wick, and I'm like it's not bad, it's not a bad movie, I don't think it's bad at all, but I went and I was like, this sure was an action movie. Like if you like that movie, you'll love it.
Yeah,
it's
fair.
great for that audience. I clearly am not part because I just went the whole time. I'm like
This is just an action movie.
I'm like, what it's like somebody who doesn't understand, who doesn't like RPGs being told Final Fantasy VII is the greatest thing, and they're going, but it's just an RPG. That's how I felt. Like it's just an action movie.
Yeah.
Is
that's
it
also
because
very-
is it because Keanu?
yes.
Because I support that.
Yes.
I support
Well, yeah.
that
It's
itself.
1000% that. Like
I support Keanu.
Yes.
We stand. him.
also Final Fantasy VII is good. I still think 6 is better.
Oh, I will
Story-wise and
agree with
everything.
that.
Yeah.
And I mean,
You know,
more than anything, I'll just say like Square Enix had a multi-game run where they released Final Fantasy 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. You will not have a more consistent run of games in a series
that were
because
all
every
just-
one of those is a classic.
Yeah, every single one of those is fucking good. Obviously, we all have our favorites. 6 is definitely my favorite out of that whole series of those games. 8, 9, 10.
9 is my
Because of Vivi.
favorite.
Yeah, he's right back there. Your little black mage.
But also, he's right under a poster that you can't really see. That's of Final Fantasy X.
Yeah.
It's the weapons as they're resting overlooking Zanarkand.
I really should go back and actually wow. Story mode or story childhood mode here. I remember way back in the day playing Final Fantasy IX, having the greatest time of my life, and we rented it from not Blockbuster but Family Video,
Oh
which
my
was
god.
just around the corner.
They were one of those kids.
So
Yeah.
we
were
still
fans.
have an operating Family Video near us.
We didn't have any of those in Canada.
We
We had Blockbuster. The
we
two
still
big
have-
ones. The two big ones up here were called Movie Gallery, which was I'm pretty sure it was actually like Canadian Blockbuster, like owned by the Blockbuster people, I think. And then there was VHQ, which I still every now and then I go back. Actually, hold on. I have a relic now. I need to show you
Oh
guys.
Jesus! We still have
Oh
one
my
more
God.
question too.
Oh fuck, we got completely sidetracked.
Yeah, you did.
That sounds about right. I
Yeah.
mean, that's fine. As also, I never got to finish my story either.
So I
Welcome
have
to the podcast.
from Movie Gallery's old days, and this just makes me laugh every time I see it. I have like the rental
oh my
game
God.
that I just never got back.
What?
If only it was a
you
game
owe
that was
$5,000 in late
Yep.
fees.
If only this was a game that was really, really good.
What game is it?
What game?
It is a game that I'm sure you guys probably haven't heard of because it has about the most generic name possible. For the Nintendo GameCube, Conflict Desert Storm.
I actually know that game because I love the game
It's
so damn
it's
much.
it's honestly a fine game, but like it's
So
the
Yeah.
name is awful.
Yeah.
it's pretty generic, and also I don't know why, but I half expected you to say Billy Hatcher and the
I've never
giant
played-
egg.
I've never played
Yeah.
it.
I bought it, owned it,
The-
and played it. It's a very good game,
It is.
actually.
The
It was
only
fun.
thing I know for sure is the song where they sing, where they spell out giant egg and they misspell giant.
I
They
don't
say
remember this part.
GINTEGG,
Close
and
enough.
it makes me laugh every time.
You know what makes me laugh every time? You guys trying to get the final question in what year did Toonami release? A. 1999. B. 1997. C. 2000.
97.
99.
Parker is
Oh, no.
correct.
97,
I-
really?
Yeah. How old do you feel now?
I figured it would be around there because it definitely would have been early, and I feel like the 2000s was too late.
2000s was too late. I was 8 years old, so I thought I was 10 when it came out.
I was.
Not
if-
even alive.
If
Well,
I can
depending on when it actually released, I would have been
figure,
born.
like October, November-ish.
Yeah, I was born.
Yeah,
by
he was
then.
born.
Um,
He was born.
If I can master the Photoshop skills soon enough, and it would require some more screen sharing on my end, would you all be interested in like guessing the cartoon character based on the silhouette or the shoes or
Yeah.
the outfit,
Oh, yeah.
stuff like that?
I-
Okay.
I
Yeah.
legitimately, one of my favorite parts of watching Pokemon was who's that Pokemon?
It's Pikachu!
It's
Fuck
Clefairy! Fuck!
One of my favorite clips
What
of
has the
that
internet done to
is
us?
I'm trying to remember which Pokemon it was. I think it was the Gen 4 Grass Starter. And there's a sequence where like
Twig?
no, it wasn't Gen 4 then. But it's a grass Pokemon. I forget which one it is. But the whole point of it is like there's a battle, and all of these people like 10 times before the end of the clip in like 5 seconds say the name of the Pokemon, and then it cuts to the who's that Pokemon, and it's that one. And then as soon as the show resumes after the commercial break, they start by saying the name a bunch. So there's just a clip of like a minute straight where they're all just saying it. I can't remember which Pokemon it is though.
That's like one of my
kinda need to know what
favorite
it is.
memes is a battle of trainer going, Arcanine, use extreme speed. May, what's extreme speed? Brock, it's when Arcanine's speed goes to the
To the
extreme.
extreme. Thanks!
They
So helpful.
I love Brock, but they made him so bad because they made him have these jelly donuts are great. They made
It's so
him
good.
say it's when Arcanine speed goes to the extreme. And my personal favorite is I'll use my frying pan as a drying pan.
My boy, it's not drying you. It's keeping you wet, and it's not doing a good job. You're already wet.
See, here's the thing. The biggest problem with Brock is he just never opened his eyes. He couldn't see that they weren't jelly donuts. He couldn't see how fast they were
True.
going. And he's so stupid, he's still getting one.
Oh. But nobody
Brock
is
is-
ever going to compare to my boy James.
Oh,
Love James.
That's just because James is a good guy.
the
He is.
the amount of good James bits. Like I was just watching. Like, I mean, the best one to me still is when you're. I forget what it was, but there's a contest. It was when Ash was traveling with May, and May has to team up with Jesse for something, and Ash teams up with James, and Jesse's like, "Wouldn't you like to beat Ash for once?" And May's like, "I guess it would be nice to knock Ash down a peg." And then cuts to James. "Let's blow those whining women back to the dark ages, right where they belong." Ash just kind of looks. Okay.
Whoa.
It's so good.
That's a take.
Two of my favorite things from James. The first one is when they were doing their intro and he's wearing some sort of like swan tutu and he goes, "I'm wearing tights instead of pants." And the other one was when they were going home and he tells this sob story about how he died in a snowstorm and all of the other men believed it. James is crying along with them at his own story told death until Misty brings everybody back to reality.
There's also, I forget what the word it was, but it's one of the times when they're doing the to protect the world from devastation, and Jesse's last line ends with like to stop all of this itching, and then James is like, "And to get rid of all of Jesse's complaining."
God
Oh,
damn.
God.
What a savage
So
Oh
motherfucker.
my god. Well, there's one episode that Meowth just straight up calls Jesse a bimbo.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like,
That
are you
tracks.
allowed to say that?
Back in the day, yes.
Yeah.
Recently, yeah, you're still able to say
Well,
that.
that's only because of the introduction to the word himbo.
Yeah.
Now that there's
Yeah,
an
which is-
equal counterpart.
Which is
Well-
weird because like bimbo is a very like I've always seen bimbo as like excluding swear words or like genuine like derogatory slurs. Like I've always seen bimbo as a pretty disrespectful thing to say. I've never heard anyone call somebody a himbo and be like that's supposed to be an insult.
Well,
It's very
like,
much like seems like a term of endearment.
when I thought of the word bimbo, and granted this is again through the innocence of a child kind of thing, I thought it was just a way to call a person ditzy. And when I first heard it, I was just
yeah,
like, yeah,
like,
that's,
really,
that's
it's not
Jesse.
far off.
So yeah. But no,
It's
like
not wrong.
now that I like when I later learned what it means, I'm like, why are they allowed to say that in a show made for children?
You know, it's actually funny too. I have two friends in particular. One of them, if you call her a bimbo straight to her face, she's like, "Yeah, I am." And the other
Okay.
one, himbo, same thing. Call it straight to his face, like, "Yeah, I am."
Ron takes
so,
pride
like,
in
I'm-
being called a himbo because he knows that it means
Ron
he's
does.
pretty but dumb and he's got that golden retriever energy.
He is a golden retriever, and it's just like, yeah, people just take it as a point of like, "Yeah, I am," and this is not a
I found the
problem.
clip. I found the Pokemon clip. It was a Servine.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, that's
a
like,
Servine Oh, thank you.
you guys know that there for a while I was talking about how on my Discord shorts I kept getting called average Discord mod because I'm an overweight man with a beard. So what I went
Yes.
ahead and did was the next video that I dropped on my Pokemon video, I'm like, now I'm going to be real with y'all. I've been getting called an average Discord mod and it hurts my feelings, but you should totally join the Discord where I am in fact a mod. And 3 people joined.
One of
Oh
my
my-
favorite. It reminds me of when Final Fantasy. Fuck, I can't speak. When Final Fantasy 15 came out, there's a character in it. He's a photographer, and he is very much like like very overweight man with a pretty like
Yeah.
thin, poorly maintained beard, and there were so many posts when that game came out of like, finally a Final Fantasy character I can cosplay. Like this is so good. It's
See,
so good.
That's the one thing that kind of sucks about anime characters is that for the most part, unless they are a decrepit old man with a beard down to here, there
Well, they're
really
35.
aren't many. Yeah, well, yeah, there aren't very many characters that have like short hair, beard. It's always long ass beard with just luxurious Fabio hair.
I feel like it's supposed
Yeah,
like I
shut
feel
up.
like it's just especially early then, like I feel like it might have been just I'm not an artist, but I feel like it could have been trickier to
Oh,
constantly
true.
draw it. Whereas like if you're basically just drawing hair again or you're drawing nothing.
That's
So I always
fair.
figured it was just easier. Plus also like yeah, most of the characters, at least a lot of the stuff I watch are 18 years old and can't
Yeah.
grow facial hair.
Well, that's like speaking of easier, that's why Super Saiyan Goku has blonde hair because the editor said, "Please do not give me another black-haired character that I am going to have to fill in so much ink on because with the blonde hair all they have to do is draw the outline."
Yeah.
And
The
it's just that much easier.
Yep.
it's well not, and that's the other thing too, is like somebody asked me that. I was talking to somebody and they were like, I think it was a relative, and they were like, why do anime characters always have like hair? And I'm like, do you want to fill in something with that much black?
Yeah.
Like do you want to do that? And I mean, granted, it's also just a creative thing to make them stand out because it's a very
Yeah.
easy thing to make them stand
It's
out.
basically with
Yes.
anime, the wilder the hair, it basically becomes a game of spot the pro tag.
I was about to say it's
so
either
good.
black hair, or it's either the really wild black hair or some brightly colored hair, and it's like, oh hey,
And
there's a
then
pro tag.
and then you have them
Yeah.
in a school where are in a very strict conservative school with rigid rules, and they're the one person for no reason that is allowed to just disregard the uniform regulations. They can wear a sweater over it.
gun!
Their best friend has the sleeves rolled up. The other guy, Yusuke, just wears a different outfit.
Well,
Like-
my all-time favorite gag was it was an episode of Fruits Basket. There's a guy named Haru with jet white hair, and the school president comes up to him and says, "You can't have dyed hair," and he goes, "I can prove it's not." Drags him into a closet, and a few seconds later, you see him leaving the closet looking mortified because this man just pulled down his pants to show his white-ass pubes, and he just leaves.
It's
Yeah,
so good.
funny enough, I came across that clip very recently on Reddit. I was wondering, I don't know what anime this is from, but I
Fruits
know
Basket.
exactly what just happened.
Yep. Fruits Basket,
Man just
Fruits
showed him
Basket
his
gets
dick.
shat on a lot because, again, everybody wants to go for the shonen rather than the shoujo. Fruits Basket's fucking cute. They turn into animals when they get hugged by the opposite sex. You can fight me.
I mean, I will fight you
Please
for
do.
unrelated reasons.
Please
but,
do.
Okay, well now you're asking for it, so I will.
Yeah.
Oh god, hit me hard. Anyway,
It's
I
always interesting where people have like just what people think of shows, especially like really popular ones. Like
Yeah.
I don't know. I always like seeing the reasons that this game that you like is really not that good, or this thing that everybody likes is really terrible, because of course it was terrible.
yeah,
Now that everybody's saying it's really good,
that's
it was bad all along.
well. They have that, and then they also have like in Naruto, for example, everybody shits on Sakura because she's considered useless, despite being very, very strong. And everybody's like, "Why is she so weak?" I'm like, because the name of the anime isn't Sakura, it's
Sakura.
Naruto, who has hella plot armor at all given times.
Also, Sakura was just wishy-washy with her entire emotions and feelings and everything, and it's
Up
like, yeah,
until
I don't like
Shippuden,
you.
Yes.
I don't like you as a character because you're just being a shit.
Yeah. But she did have the strongest move known to the entire anime because whenever she would scream Naruto with tears running down her face, he would appear to save the village. It was insane.
That's called plot armor. I gotta
I-
say the plot.
I've never watched it. I've recently also been rewatching Kaguya-sama Love is War, which is one of
Bless
the
you.
greatest things ever made.
Shut up, Ricker.
It is so good. It is
I haven't
so
seen
damn
it.
funny. Especially like if you're like well past high school and you're ever like looking back at how ridiculous it is, because the whole point of it is these two idiot kids are in love, or as in love as 16, 15-year-old
Yeah.
kids are. But they frame it as if these two are going to war with each other. So like every interaction is like, this is a battle. And they have a narrator, and in the dub, the narrator is Ian Sinclair, who's just a phenomenal voice actor who just gets so into these battles and is like explaining what the tactics are. And it's just like the like starts off with like, and love when one person gives in and admits they will be conquered. Results of today's battle, Kaguya loses. And like it's also where one of my favorite clips of all time comes from, where this woman is talking about Kaguya, and she says something hilarious about her, and then the narrator just goes, "She's right, you know, and that's why she's best girl."
Like, I remember this now.
It's so good. It's so good.
The narrator
I can't recommend it enough. It's legit, and it also is like legitimately like a very well written and also like a very earnest anime about like young love and affection and stuff, and is like genuinely also wholesome. It's also just fucking hilarious.
Check it out sometime.
Yeah, I remember
the dub cast is incredible.
I remember hearing all about it. I never got a chance to watch it myself, but it's just it's the narrator that really sells it all.
Oh, and like just the shit that these two do, and like the way they'll like freak out and have their own like super like there's a and legitimately one of the best, for whatever it's worth, one of the best anime fight scenes ever, and it's just a rap battle of somebody trying to tell somebody to be more open about about what's really going on in his life. And it's legitimately incredible. It's just a rap battle. It's so good.
All right. I'm interested.
I need the amount of my life.
There's also one clip from it of the best character in the show, Fujiwara, who is like freaking out internally and smiling but shaking aggressively and sweating profusely.
Hey, that's what I do in any
it's
basic
like my
human
favorite.
interaction.
It's like my favorite GIF of all time. It's so good.
Come on, Bricker. Human interaction isn't that bad to deal with. You're interacting with humans right now.
So anyway, the clip that you sent about Pokemon kind of reminds me of the Family Guy clip of the jackal. It's a jackal. Is it a jackal?
That is one of my favorite bits from it, because I also remember when I was a kid, I yelled at someone in a very similar situation. I think it was my cousin who makes a reference to that all the time, because we were playing. I think we were playing Pictionary. And I was drawing something, and someone kept yelling the same thing, and then we stopped, and I was like 9 years old, and I was like, if I didn't say it once, it wasn't the right answer.
So even little teeny tiny Parker was a little bit of a dick. Okay.
What do you mean even?
I ranted a lot when I was a kid. I was very aggressive when I was a kid.
To be fair, at least you had a good reason at that point. It's like
yeah, that one was valid.
I didn't say it. Why do you think I said it? We're still going. We haven't stopped. Keep going.
We've tried nothing. We're all out of options.
We tried. Wait. What was that?
Tried
that
the
was
same.
Fucking...
That was The Simpsons. It was a bit with Flanders' parents where you learn that Ned was actually like a dick as a kid, and his parents were super hippies. Take him to someone and go, "You gotta help us, Doc. We've tried nothing, and we're all out of options."
That's how I feel when people call in complaining about things, is that you've literally tried nothing. This was your only option that you thought that you had.
And like, I work in marketing. A huge part of my job is social media. And I understand to some extent, like, I respect you. A lot of people, it's legitimately anxiety inducing to contact a company. Like, there are people who struggle just ordering food in a drive-thru. Like, I totally get that, so I respect you if you're able to like call them. But also, logistically, you are quicker with most simple like questions or whatnot. You are quicker getting an answer if you Google. Yep. You are like, if your question is, what time is this thing at? You are just better off to Google it. You will probably find an answer quicker. But the amount of times, especially now, I promote I work for a charity. I promote events, a lot of events, a lot of programs. This is going on Tuesdays after school for this ages. The amount of snuffing times I will post something that says this program goes at our clubhouse 4 to 6 every Tuesday for ages 14 to 17, and I will get a comment saying, "What time does it go?" And I'm like, use these fucking things.
He says while
So-
taking off his glasses and can no
Glasses.
longer
Oh.
effectively use them.
So, like, yeah, people will
I
still
still
always
use
ask
them
that.
as this post.
The thing is, though, people ask that. Do you still at least tell them the answer, even though it's right
Oh,
in
yeah.
front of their face?
Oh yeah,
Good.
I will still tell them. Like I still have a job to do, and I totally get it. But I'm also just like, I
'Cause,
will
like-
usually as I respond or after I respond, I will usually then send it to a coworker that's probably pertinent to the program and be like, "This person is an idiot." And sometimes they like, I'm like,
My favorite is
It
when
was
somebody
right there.
responds and says, "Please refer to the post above for the answer to said question." I'm like,
I've had
you
I'm
you spent
so
more time
tempted.
typing that out than you spend
Then reading.
responding to it and then
And, like,
lamenting over the fact you
the
responded.
weirdest
to
part is that I've got messages about a post like that asking me for something, and I'm like, you clearly care enough to research to some extent, so like, why not check the page or the website
it because that's too easy.
or the post you're commenting on?
They also could be somebody like me who has definitely read through it and then
Just
Has
did
that
not
brain blip.
absorb the information.
Oh,
Yeah.
and you might. There's
Yeah,
also a
that
matter
happens
of
so much.
there's also a matter of like, for some people, there is like, there's also a thing that a lot of people don't consider with social media, that for some people, the way social media platforms like characterize their text and stuff, it is genuinely difficult to read,
Yes.
and they
I can-
might not be
yes.
able to read my image for whatever reason, and sometimes I forget to put in alt text on an image that contains the information. So some people might like honestly miss it. I'm not shitting on anyone who does it. I'm still gonna laugh about it though.
Oh, absolutely.
Because like, I only have so much strength in a day. I need to laugh at things.
This day makes me weak. I don't want to deal with it
Oh
anymore.
God, that's how I feel
I've-
more often than not. Jeez.
I've just you take the hilarious victories when you can get them. Like, I mean, my one coworker, my one guy, bless his heart, comes from England. We went out one day. We went super early on a Saturday to go to an event. The event got canceled, so we're all hanging out at the office at 7 in the morning. And we're like, "You want to go for breakfast?" And we go for breakfast, and homeboy, I order a coffee and some waffles. My roommate was there. He ordered, I think, a coffee and some stuff. Everybody else ordered a coffee. Someone ordered toast and stuff. My homeboy ordered fish and chips and a milkshake
Oh, honey.
at 7 in the morning. I'm like,
Oh, honey.
I don't know how your stomach can do that this early, but good for you.
Oh.
You know what? I was about to say, like, props to him for just doing it. He's like,
Like-
I just want this.
So
This is
how
what I
old was
want.
he at
Nope.
the time, though? Is what I'm curious
How
about.
old
because-
was he?
Yeah.
24. This was
Yeah.
like 4 months ago.
Mid 20s, I could
Yeah.
easily do shit. If I even thought about doing that now, I would die. On the way to college, my breakfast in the morning was a brownie. They had this big ass breakfast sandwich that was egg smashed in between two sausage links, and then a biscuit in between those as well. So like
It's
it
a
was
double.
just,
That's a breakfast version of the double down.
It was
That
amazing.
sounds incredibly
And
good.
a
I kind
Pepsi.
of want that.
That was my
And a-
breakfast.
I can't. I cannot. I've gotten especially Coke and Pepsi. Like, I can stomach like a ginger ale or a Sprite or something, but
God, we're
I
getting
very
so
much don't.
old.
I don't like pop. But like Pepsi and Coke in particular, whether anything that isn't the diet variants, and I don't know why, because I don't think the things that are missing would be the reason this is caused or not. They just make me burp.
Oh, well.
Like, they don't cause any pain or anything, but like, especially Coke Zero. I had a Coke Zero back, like, this was years ago when I was working furniture delivery, and they gave us Coke Zeros as like a thanks. They didn't have any money for a tip, so I'm like, sure, whatever.
Right.
And I'm like, the whole way back, I'm just constantly burping. And the guy at work was like, "Why do you keep like? Are you doing this intentionally?" I'm like, I swear to God, I'm not. I just have to burp.
Can't help it.
That's like,
I legitimately am not trying to do this.
back when I worked at Discover, I sat next to somebody that had just this very like strong sense of smell, And whenever I would have a Pepsi, naturally, because carbonation, you do typically burp a little bit.
You'll burp.
And
Yeah, the
I
no-
would just hear this, a sniff noise followed by, the Pepsi burps. What's up, Bricker?
Ha!
That's
Get
real
called
good.
out.
I know, I'm like, damn, I'm not even sitting beside you and you can still, my God, you bloodhound.
It is great though when you have people in my office. I can tell if they're there because when the ED gets in, I'm usually in before anybody. When the ED gets in, he'll turn on all the lights. When the one guy comes in, he will slam a door unintentionally. I will hear the woman that is next to me in an office. I will hear her because she takes forever to open her door, and sometimes her lock is so fucky that I have to come and help her open the door. Somebody else always wears really thick heels, so I'm like, oh, I can hear her because I can hear the click clop. I can hear my boss because he wears track pants, so there's always the swoosh of
Oh,
pants.
God.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I can hear the swoosh of your pants. It's just like it's so funny to me. So I'm just like, yep.
I
There
know
you are.
who's working in the store based off the music I hear. Like, if I hear trap music when I walk in, I'm like, okay, it's this person. If I
Yeah.
hear country music, I'm like, you and I are the only two people that listen to country music. Plus, from that era, I know exactly who's working.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure the reason I got sent out on a delivery today was so that they could change the radio while I was gone.
Oh my god, that's so good. That's part of why
Are they
I
not a fan,
close
Bricker?
my
Nope,
office
and I don't
door.
give a fuck.
Well,
Hey,
that's fair.
You do what you can do.
Well, my thing is I'm just like, you know what? During my closing shifts or my mid shifts, and my mid shifts are the 10-hour days, I stomach 10 hours of hearing tick tock on the clock. Now, don't get me wrong. I like Kesha. I like Train. I like the music playing, but
You
y'all,
don't even
it's
wanna
the
hear it all the
same
time.
30 songs that y'all are playing. At least let me listen to my 40 country songs and have a little bit of a variety for
The-
at least a few hours.
People have asked me about this because sometimes, usually when I'm working, especially depending on what I'm working on, I will either have what I have right now of a YouTube playlist of like calming or relaxing
Yeah.
or motivating Zelda music or whatnot, or I will have sometimes I'll have fascinating YouTube videos. I watch a lot of videos while I'm working of doctor responds to Grey's Anatomy because I'm just I'm
Is it
curious
Dr.
about
Mike?
Those are
yes, it is Dr. Mike.
Yes!
Because I'm just genuinely curious about is this, even if I don't watch the show, is this accurate or stuff? And I also do
Yeah.
one with a lawyer as well for the same thing.
Yep, I know
Or
exactly
I will just
what you're
have
talking about.
or I'll just have Spotify on my liked, and people are like, why can you just play your liked? There's so many songs. I'm like, well, first off, if it's in my liked songs, it's a piece of music I enjoy listening to.
right.
But
it's
also,
fair.
it's for that reason of when you listen to my liked things, yeah, you will go from wild shit because you might go from J. Cole to Nickelback to
Mhm.
fucking Near Automata music
It's a high
that
school
makes you
musical.
cry.
Are you speaking from experience on that one?
I don't have High School Musical, but honestly,
I
I should really. There's
Yeah,
no
me either.
reason my Spotify should not have Get Your Head in the Game. There's
Gotta get
no
your-
reason
get
that I
your
should
head in
not.
the game.
I love you.
feel
love you
like
too.
I feel like I'm one of the weird ones. I just don't listen to music. I don't do any of this stuff at all whenever
See,
I'm doing stuff
I-
because I'm just in my own head doing my work. I'm like, all right, we're on my
Hey,
work. Let's focus.
and
Honestly, there
that's
are a lot of
fair.
people that shouldn't listen to.
Yeah.
Especially my advice for a lot of people that have struggled with studying is specifically I've given them a video game playlist and but I don't like this video game. Just try it because if it doesn't have lyrics in it, it won't distract you
think
as
about
much.
it as much.
Yeah.
If it's supposed to be a lot of video game music is composed to be the background.
Well, and
Yes,
that's
a
why
lot of them
lo-fi
have great
music
compositions that
stuff is so
stand
wild.
out. Lo-fi as well. There's a reason Lo-fi Girl is such
Yeah.
So popular.
thing.
And now there's lo-fi
because
boy.
it's great. Yeah, it's a genuinely great tool. And it doesn't really distract me. I mean, I also grew up I've had to study and write an essay on a bus with a lacrosse team or a football team.
Yeah,
If I was able to churn out a third of a page in 4 hours,
that was a
I'm
good day.
gone with studying and being able to focus in stressful circumstances. So
See, I do the music thing, but I have multiple playlists. So I have one playlist that's just my videos that I'll play because watch hours are very important, and
Mhm.
so are likes and comments. So if you're watching this on YouTube, make sure to like and leave a comment. I
Could not
have
resist, could you?
nope. I have a pop playlist where I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
I need to get amped up, or I have like a mellow lo-fi playlist, or I just have a country like I feel like singing along playlist. Like I have all these different playlists depending on what type of mood I'm in.
There's also, I've found for me at least, a big part of what I'll listen to is what I'm specifically doing. Like, there are some tasks, and it might depend on just how I'm feeling. There are some days where I am flying through
Yeah.
work, where I'm just like pumping out content. Like, I've got all my posts made, I've got all the images made, I've designed this or that.
Yeah.
And there are some times where I'm like, I'm writing up like if I'm designing right now, I'm designing an annual report, so I'm writing out stories. I don't really want like a Dr. Mike video when that's going on, because I don't want a voice as much as I just want a noise in the back that isn't super distracting. Compare that to like, if I'm putting together a poster that I've designed all the stuff for, and I'm just or I'm searching for the right image for something, or I'm going through I'm checking somebody else's poster design to see if I approve it or not as the marketing and branding specialist. Like, sure, but then I might have something like that. But it does. You have to know how to distract yourself.
Watch Dr. Mike reacts to Jackass videos. It's amazing.
Oh God.
And then also you start working out, and then what do you put on? You put on some Doom 2016 music and just start screaming about ripping and tearing.
The thing is, I still typically like. I can working out is like the one instance that like it doesn't matter what type of music I listen to, I can still go just as hard. Like same with boxing. Like when I did boxing a few times a week, it didn't matter what I was listening to, I was still able to hit the bag.
Oh, there's some, and it's really funny because someone at my gym called me out on this once. But my Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays workout, I end with a 10-minute session on the treadmill where I go for 6.5 minutes, pretty hard, gradually getting harder, take 30 seconds off, and then I'm like a minute and a half of running, take 30 seconds, and then I'm a minute and 15 seconds of like basically sprinting. And usually when I'm at that point, I will, especially for the first 6 minutes, like I want something that kind of distracts me, so I'm not every 5 seconds, how long is the time gone? So I usually have like a video playing. I'll set my phone on the treadmill and have a video playing. And usually I'm like, the only thing I can think of is old video game trailers with hype music. So this one guy, I was sprinting as hard as I could to a Final Fantasy 16 trailer, which is just an incredible trailer. The State of Play 2022 trailer, incredible. I hate that I know the name because I've watched it that many times because of this scenario. But he's like, I have to ask you, he's like, you're like the most serious person here. And it looked like you were watching anime while you sprinted. I'm like, so let me tell you what that's about, Jeremy, my boy. Let me tell you what that's about.
I'm picturing you Naruto running on the treadmill at this point.
With the arms back and everything.
I wish I could Naruto run. I can't do it.
Two things. One.
Two.
I made the mistake of listening to a stand-up comedian at the gym. Never do that when you're trying to keep up on the treadmill.
No!
Your fuckers Discord servers has this problem for me. Because there are countless times, especially when Marcus's girlfriend starts talking, that I will be sitting there, like, trying to do, like, chest press or something, and I will be chuckling because of the nonsense that you all are talking about.
I literally, and I love her for this and hate her for it at the same time, because she messages the same way I do, where she'll send
one line at a fucking time.
Shift enter. I'm begging you, Em.
I have not been able to leave my phone on vibrate since, because I had my phone on vibrate. She messaged me 10 times, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure you just dry humped me in your boyfriend's server.
So one of the first times that my girlfriend stayed over at my place, I put my computer into sleep thinking I put it off. Oh, no. And we got back to my place, and I have Discord notifications on my computer for certain servers, both of your servers' general chats being one of them, because I generally, whatever's going on, I'm interested in.
Look over.
And like being part of the conversation. And we got back to my place, it was like 4 a.m. We went in and we were lying in my bed, and we were just starting to fall asleep. And I know it was the three of you, I'm pretty sure, talking, and it was just a swarm of that, and she was like, I'm like, she's never coming back. This is not like she's done here.
There
Anyway,
was
she's game over now.
when Lady
So
B and
good.
I first started like getting into communicating more online and stuff like that. For whatever reason, I sleep so like my phone is always face down. When she sleeps, her phone is face up. And it would be like 2 a.m. and somebody would say, I would always sign out of Discord as I go to sleep because I don't want the phone notifications or anything. Like, what happens between the time I sleep and the time I wake up is between y'all and God. I will sometimes just shut my phone off entirely.
Honestly, that's not a bad play.
Yeah. But she leaves her phone up. So, like, you'd be lying there in bed, and then all of a sudden, because she had this bright ass background at the time, it was like the bat signal suddenly going off in her bedroom.
No.
But, like, you flip that phone
You mother.
upside down, or I am
It's-
never sleeping in here again.
That's why on my phone I have notifications for those same servers, but I have them set that the only thing it will do is it will put a notification
Yes.
on the top notification bar. It won't light up my phone or vibrate
Oh, God.
because I'm like, I don't.
God,
And that's
that's-
with most apps that I have. Probably the only app that I have sound notifications on are Facebook Messenger.
Oh, God.
Also because, for
'Cause of
one
your
though, that's
job,
also a
sure.
part of my job. And like, we don't get a lot of vitriol, but I want to and break it. And honestly, Facebook Messenger as a business profile isn't consistent anyway, and half the time it just won't notify me on my phone. The only other one's Instagram Messenger, which sometimes is a pain, but not too much otherwise, and Snapchat.
Okay, fair
And
enough.
most people don't usually snap me. Plus, I'm a pretty heavy sleeper that my body kind of knows at this point that, like, if we're between probably 10 o'clock and 4 o'clock, like,
No,
he's
my
probably
body is checked out. It's in the temple
He is
of
either
time.
with he's either with his girlfriend or he's asleep. It's one of those two
Or
things almost
both.
every time. With her, no. We do not go to sleep early. We do not. It's not. It's not.
If I remember, I'm gonna
Actually,
edit some
my
sexy
lawyer has
music in
advised.
right
My
there.
lawyer has advised me to refrain from commenting.
Why, Parker? Yeah, actually, you know what?
Even-
I did realize this too. Once you started dating her, you've been up way, way later than you normally ever have been. You're always around way more too because of it.
Well, I mean, and sometimes yes, like she does have a much later sleep schedule than me.
Yes.
There's numerous reasons for that. But the other thing is that she it's not that she keeps me up. Like there are a lot of times where I'd say like I get up my time 4:30 on weekdays. I usually am in bed if nothing's going on 7 or 8, and I will often just lie in bed.
Yeah.
Partly 'cause, like it takes me forever to sleep. Sometimes I might read something or whatnot.
Right.
So it's like, but with her half the time, like, so usually I get to sleep probably, on an average, I probably get to sleep about 10:30. Get a little over 6 to 8 hours of sleep every night, on average. Whereas those nights I'm just lying in bed. Where sometimes with her, like, she will say, like, can you help me with this thing? And we'll actually be going out somewhere. If I'm lying in bed, I try not to look at my phone if it's not an emergency, because as soon as I look at it, then I'm like, well, now I'm going to be
Now
up a
you're
little
gonna be
bit.
looking at it.
If
Yeah.
we're already out and about doing stuff, I'm like, I'm not going to fall asleep while we're driving around the city. We're going to
Hella
Michael's at
dangerous to fall
9:30.
asleep while driving, by the way. Been
What?
there, done that. Don't worry.
Yeah. I mean, I would like to. I do hope that I go very peacefully and in my sleep like my uncle did, not like the other 4 people in his car.
You son of a bitch! That was so bad. That's a meat level joke. I need you to go fuck yourself.
That's saying it.
Hey, Marcus,
Yeah.
knock knock.
Who's there?
Colin,
Call him who?
I'm calling you because I want to talk to you. Obviously, that's why I said your name.
Where's the disconnect button? I hate you so
Jesus.
fucking much.
I'm so happy that worked out
I
that
don't
way.
remember that one. My kid is just starting to discover knock knock jokes, and his 2 favorites are knock knock who's there, Atch who, and he'll say bless you.
Bless you.
Really
The other
good.
one is I'll You guys will get a kick out of this. Knock knock.
Who's there?
Wah.
Wahoo.
Wahoo.
It's me, Mario.
Mario.
I love that. It's so good. Oh, that's incredible. I mean, I also like. I make it a point around my to tell dad jokes and puns because there's like 2 other people in my work that love them, and like 90 other people, like 90 other people that will get mad about them. And it's so good because I'm like,
people get mad, yeah.
And I'm like, I control the social media platform, so I can put them out to the public whenever I damn well want, basically. And I will do that. And then I will have somebody come and be like, between the like 2 of us that are known for dad jokes, like I've had somebody will come and be like, which one of you two did this?
Which one of you done this? Who did it?
All I can think of is that Harry Potter meme. Why is it when there's always trouble it's you 3?
Why is it always you 2 when we're groaning at a dumb joke? Some people just aren't fun.
Yeah.
Hey, fuck you.
Those
They're
who
just
hate
bad
dad jokes are
jokes,
55% less fun. It's been confirmed by science that I just made up on the spot.
Exactly.
Speaking of science, there was one time that I was on Twitter and I said, hey, you should check out this video for science. And because I said that, Twitter blocked my post saying that there was no scientific proof of what I was saying.
Oh, I've got one like that too. I forget who it was, but what I do on my, because again, youth agency, so I try to balance between targeting my posts towards parents and the actual youth.
Right.
And so every Saturday when if we don't have like an event, usually I'll put on I'll put up an inspirational quote and that's it.
Yeah.
And there was one time where someone fact checked my post saying the person didn't say this quote. I think I put up a Mark Twain quote, and then it's like Instagram's like, warning, this was not, we have fact checked. Mark Twain did not actually say this. Continued offenses, and I'm like, did someone report this? Was this automated, or did someone report this shit?
No, you got reported.
I'm like, that's hilarious. It's so funny.
There's this dumb meme picture that I posted in like 2019. It was Bill Clinton with his mouth on a crocodile holding 2 AK-47s with an American flag behind him and this woman hugging his leg, like basically James Bond parodying.
Yeah.
In 2023, 4 years after the post, Facebook says, we removed this picture because we deemed it offensive. I'm like, it took y'all 4 fucking years to find it? It was posted in July of this year. It is November of 2023.
So it's one of those things of probably like, this wasn't offensive at the time. Now it is offensive. We need to do something.
And just automated systems. Like if you really want to appeal them, you could. I think with Instagram, I was just like, not gonna appeal a Mark Twain quote.
I did have TikTok. I posted an Arcanine short. Because on my YouTube channel, I'm doing daily reviews of every Pokemon until we finish, Monday through Friday. But I'm also putting that on TikTok because easy content. They took down the video saying that it was violent and somehow broke their guidelines. I'm like, my guy,
what?
It's Pokemon. The most violent thing that I said in there is that he can learn a wide variety of moves.
A guy I went to high school with, his dad, for all of us, would record football games when we would record our football games and would post clips. Often, like, if he had the time, like, he would actually, like, make little highlight reels if someone had, like, a good game. Which was actually, like, nobody really got scouted for it, but, like, that's genuinely, that's a really nice thing to do.
That's a step
to put your time in to do that.
Parents would typically do.
Yeah. One of his videos of 16-year-olds playing football because of his son, which it got flagged for, I think, violent content.
Okay.
The funniest part was, like, the video in question did have his son doing not necessarily a cheap shot, but for anyone in the audience that knows football, when the center, the guy that snaps the football to the quarterback, sets the football down, he's not supposed to move it. Because him twitching it can cause the defensive line to move forward. And he kept twitching, doing that intentionally, was not getting flagged.
Oh, so
my guy, my teammate, my friend, was a defensive lineman on this play. I was so fed up with it that when he alerted the refs that this keeps happening, and then he said, eventually I'm gonna just snap. And on the next play, the guy twitched it and he just bull rushed him and just blew him right up. It was so good. I'm like, so you did technically throw you threw what, but if you go by the book, you threw what should be considered a cheap shot at the time.
But
you go by anyone who knows the sport. You go by anyone who knows the sport. I mean, it's like in hockey, if you poke at a goaltender when the play has been whistled down and someone punches you over it, technically they cheap shot you by
their area, by the way.
Throwing a punch. But yeah, it was really funny.
It's just one of those things of why are you doing this? Stop doing this. You're about to have. Do you not know the actions to your consequences to your actions?
How many times have we said that while playing a match of Dead by Daylight?
Actions of my consequence.
Actions of my consequence are chasing me right now.
Oh my god, I was playing some Dead by Daylight earlier. I did 2 matches only. First match, I got tunneled out because I did a save on. Did a flashlight save, and the killer was like, "All right, time to disrespect this man."
All right, fair.
And then the last one, I was the last one alive, and the killer's just like, "All right, leave."
Nice.
What the fuck?
Are you playing the PTB right now? This is gonna age the video horribly, but the new killer.
I have not played the PTB yet. I am so excited to play the new killer.
Parker, I wish that you would play DBD. I know you're not super.
He's not a horror fan. Yeah.
I wish more people played The World Ends With You.
My world ends with you.
Listen, Parker, I need you to just meet this man.
Listen up, phones. The world ends with you.
I just need you to meet this man.
Yeah.
He's a good man.
Yeah, that guy. Oh my god.
he's just a happy guy. He's just a happy guy.
I'm just a happy guy.
That is one of the characters of all time.
Yeah. Yes.
I mean, again,
that's a man.
I mean, again, DBD, it looks to me like Overwatch. If you like what is on offer, I'm sure it's a phenomenal game for your audience. I just ain't that audience.
And that's fine.
And honestly, it is genuinely cool how many crossovers you got. I feel like for horror fans, DBD has the kind of appeal that Smash had for me of just how excited I was to see what is going to be the next thing.
I love both.
Yeah, legitimately, they put Xenoblade in Smash.
I guess
they put Persona in Smash.
Sakurai
they put Dark Pit in Smash. Who puts Dark Pit?
Sakurai said that
Sonic.
Last update.
They put my boy Sora.
This is the last update for the biggest. That's it.
Yeah.
The next Smash game will never have anything like this.
No,
honestly,
because the thing is, it's ruining his health. Is the thing. Man works 80-hour weeks when these things drop.
Honestly, and I'm gonna drop a potentially controversial take. The Smash Ultimate DLC was great. I'm not gonna complain or say that it was bad. I wish the Smash DLC was different in that I would have much preferred, as much as having in terms of the characters they chose, I think they did a pretty good job. They gave me Persona, they gave me Kingdom Hearts, they gave me Xeno, they gave me a Fire Emblem character that is how a Fire Emblem character should be and actually deserve to be in the roster more than a lot of the other ones. They gave us great reps from Tekken, and SNK, who absolutely deserve to be there. But I would have much preferred getting the modes that were missing from Ultimate. Because I don't think anybody looked at Ultimate when it came out, myself included, and said, the character roster is what's lacking in this game. And I understand that it would have been...
break the targets and land on the platforms and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah. I was
and honestly, the only other thing that I really wish... I understand Subspace Emissary couldn't happen again. I know it wouldn't happen again. It would have been insane. As great as it would have been to have a clip of, Simon Belmont just reacting to Bayonetta existing would have been incredible. would never have happened. It just wouldn't have. It would have been way too much
That's
for it to exist. But I really don't like Ultimate's classic mode. Because every character has one route, and when you've done it, why do it again?
So I do it again
And
and again.
that's
Yeah.
why
I wish there was a random one.
I really enjoyed, and this is why it's still my favorite to this day. That's why I enjoy Melee so much, because after you had
Adventure
finished the
mode
main
was so good.
storylines, well, even after adventure mode, you then had 100+ side quests of like
Oh,
defeat Giga
had-
Bowser, Dark Link.
had so many
is in a
interesting
level.
things.
Yeah,
like you battled
they
on
didn't
trophies.
do
You had
that.
to fight somebody on
Right.
Majora's Mask.
It was amazing.
That was fun.
Oh my god, Poke Floats though.
It was toxic and
Fuck
it was great.
that.
It's like the Great Cave
Ah.
Offensive. It was terrible and I love it.
You know what?
And that's my issue with Ultimate. More
Nothing
than
beats
anything.
the one map though, and the Hyrule map.
Yeah.
Temple, and you just get in that one spot.
The Hyrule
You
jump.
just
Just
that
juggle them.
constantly, and you
I-
can't do anything. It's like, please kill me.
It's like, oh, you're at
It's-
500%. Be a shame if you saw 999.
And like again, this is not in any way like Ultimate could have had 0 DLC and I would have said it's still one of the most worthwhile full price games ever made.
Mhm.
Because there is an ass load of things to do. World of Light, while it's no subspace, I think is a fun adventure. I really do. But I am a big fan of something like a classic mode that can, to some extent, throw me for a loop or not know what to expect. Like it's why the Xenoblade 3's DLC includes a roguelike mode where that game has your 6 party members and then you have recruitable characters that can act as a 7th party member. There's a mode where you pick one of the 6 characters that you have and then you build a party based on just the additional heroes and you
Yeah.
can build back up to 7. I love that because everything about it can be random and you never know what you're going to expect. You might get amazing things right off the bat. And like, I wish that Ultimate had something like that because now that it's come and gone, there's so many things. The only ways that I can play it are online with friends or online, which is either toxic online competitive or what we do in our streams, which is fun, but I couldn't do that for more than like a night.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't do that multiple times. Or I'll play with my roommate and our friends, which is also fun, but also I've played most of my friends so many times. We know our matchups. Like Cody and I, we know what's going to happen if we have a Ness versus DDD matchup.
Yeah.
Anyone who's watched us knows how that matchup is going to go. They know what we're going to do. It's just a matter of who is actually able to execute it better.
Well, and that's one thing that I kind of wish that they that I hope that they kind of work, because we all know there's going to be another Smash Bros. It may not be Sakurai running the show, but there will definitely be another one. I hope that if they choose to release more fighters, they don't make so many clone fighters. Give us more options.
Yeah.
I disagree.
Really?
Well, actually,
I disagree.
we-
Oh, sorry, go ahead, Marcus.
I was just gonna say none of the people in Ultimate were clones. They all had like different attack styles, different moves, even different like weights to them. So
Yeah.
I don't.
the weights,
were
I will
never
definitely agree.
And
with.
They
my
were clones.
My thing is,
Echoes.
even before they announced them as Echoes, characters like Lucina and Dark Pit were always just an extra character. And they didn't take much longer to develop. And frankly, I wish we had more Echoes because there were countless characters that I'm like, we could have had a Miss Pac-Man. We could have had Jean for Bayonetta. We could have had Zack Fair for Cloud. We could have had Galactonite for Meta Knight. We could have had you could have had something similar to the Pokemon trainer. There's there were so many characters. If they continued it and we had the same roster, you could have Roxas for Sora, make him a little heavier and a little harder hitting, but not as like floaty and
Give him that
able to
bocce ball
survive.
thing that he used.
But yeah, like I'm actually a big fan of Echo characters because
I
they,
like
to
the
me, they
Echo
give a
characters to
spin.
give you more, but I don't know, like, to a degree, some of it is just like, okay, I understand that, like, if they have the same exact powers, cool, baller, I get it. But then you had ones like Dr. Mario and Mario, for example. I felt like
Ness
they
and
were
Lucas.
just different enough
Yeah,
that it still changed the gameplay slightly. I don't need some wild change, but just little ones, I think, make the characters
Yeah.
seem a lot more unique.
I do think if we ever get another, I feel like if we get a Smash for one, it won't have the full roster that Ultimate
Oh,
has.
absolutely
I feel
not.
like if the rumors are true that come out every single year from every wannabe journalist that this is the year we're going to get a Switch Pro because you idiots have been putting out the same fucking rumor since 2018
Eventually,
every
they're going to
year
be right.
ad nauseum, so that when it does get announced that there's a successor, you can go, look how smart I am trying to delete the receipts of 5 years of you being a dick about it. Yes, I'm a well-adjusted adult. Why do you ask?
Because this is how I feel about everybody that goes, Simpsons predicted the future. I'm like, yeah, they throw a bunch of things at the wall. Naturally, something is gonna stick.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And but like, I feel like if whatever that successor comes, we would get a Smash Bros with all the DLC characters from Ultimate and maybe a couple extra like modes or something at most, or an actual tone back. Because honestly, I also think we're at a point now where, for someone like me who's played every Smash game for 300 hours at least, like me having only put 200-300 hours in the N64 Smash Bros in the course of my life, that's the low end compared to all the others. Like,
Also,
I have 800 probably hours in Melee, Brawl, Smash 4, Ultimate, through everything. But for someone that has never owned a Nintendo console, that has never, and especially someone that doesn't know all these characters, because another huge advantage to Smash Bros is these characters control like you would expect them to. Like Sora plays like Kingdom Hearts 1 Sora. But someone who's never touched it, look at that roster and don't feel overwhelmed.
Okay, cool.
yeah, right.
Like,
It's
that is an
fucking-
overwhelming roster. And
That's
frankly,
too many.
that's something I feel with a lot of traditional fighting games, because I always try to get into traditional fighting games, and beyond like the Soul Calibur and Street Fighter that I'm actually, and BlazBlue that I'm actually somewhat familiar with. But like, someone's like played Marvel versus Capcom, and I look at that roster and I'm like, no, like I just, what the fuck am I looking at? Especially throwing in their characters like a Tekken, where I'm like, I know who the characters that have been in Project Cross Zone are. I don't know anybody else. What the fuck am I supposed to do with this bear? and Smash will have that same problem. Not that that's I don't think that's
No,
necessarily
I mean,
a problem.
well,
It's
the
not
thing is,
avoidable.
though, like, I feel like no matter who they introduce, as long as they keep, like, the core ones that they've had since the 64, like, fans are going to keep coming back.
And I mean, I will buy any Smash Day one, because at the end of the day, I love the core formula of what Smash Bros is, and it's just a fun time. It's a game that I could always, like, there's no other game that I can just pick up as easily and just have fun with.
Yeah.
Like, I can just, anywhere that I am, if someone has any Smash Bros, regardless of if I'm way better than them or they're way better than me, I can at least have an enjoyable time.
And like, the release of that game, not to cut you off, but it also made it the best pickup line of all time, where you just say, hey, want to Smash?
Exactly.
Fuck off!
And that has been this episode of Scheduling
Fuck
Conflict.
you. Fuck you. You don't get to end on the joke. That's not a smashing joke to end on.
So this has been this episode of Scheduling Conflicts.
I hate you.
I don't know when we're going to be back, because we are naturally having scheduling conflicts.
Scheduling conflicts,
But, yeah. Have a good day, everybody.
Bye.
Later.
So much pain.